Okay. So my presentation is focused on the educational initiatives in Earth observation, mainly for the secondary school students. These initiatives are implemented chiefly within the remote sensing and GIS department of the Space Research and Technology Institute of the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. The major projects which I'm gonna touch upon today are those four. As you can see, they have been implemented, roughly speaking, since 2016, or we can also say since 2015, considering the proposal preparations. I'll go in details for each of these soon. As I mentioned, since the signature of the PECS, which is the Plan for European Cooperating States of European Space Agencies, our team at the Institute has started preparing proposals. So within the first call for proposals of 2016, which has been issued by ESA, was implemented the first educational project. Then soon after, the European Commission has established the Copernicus Academy, and we have been one of the few, actually only two organizations from Bulgaria are still, I think, Copernicus Academy members. The Academy has underwent a restructuring recently, so now it's called Copernicus Ambassadors Network. But our institute, the Space Research and Technology Institute, together with the Sofia University, have become the two academic institutions in Bulgaria to be participating in the academy until today. Meanwhile, we have been continuing our education efforts towards the secondary school education, which have been implemented mainly within the project developed within a national program, operational program called Education for Science. This program still runs. It's funded by the Ministry of Education and Science of Bulgaria. And soon after the completion of this project in 2021, which was in the midst of the COVID pandemic, as you know, we started preparation for another proposal within the FP-CUP program, which is the framework program for Copernicus user uptake, called Copernicus for Schools. It was developed exactly in 2020. 2021, the program was approved, and the project started implementing, and its final touches are in this year. So, starting with the first project, which I mentioned, it was oriented mainly to organize summer schools in the country, recognizing the lack of such type of education for students. And we have organized a series of schools, summer and winter schools, which have been based on the Moodle courses for remote sensing. They have been developed in Bulgarian. And using those Moodle courses, the summer schools have been carried out along with practicals. Another activity within the proposal were to issue the first of its kind. We consider it as such, and I believe it's so. Tutorial for remote sensing for secondary school children. It's free of charge. It's still published online digitally. It can be downloaded. It's in Bulgarian though. So the idea was to not only to introduce the Earth observation and remote sensing, if we use it interchangeably, but also to adopt the materials straight into Bulgarian language so that there is no language barrier for the students. And we have also published a literature review and compliance check with regard to what was there at the time in 2017, which was followed up by 2 articles where we published our findings. Of course, now we have new initiatives, we have new projects. The situation is not static, but at that time, it was a good orientation for us to see who has been doing what abroad and to buy the best practices in order not to repeat at least the same mistakes, and of course to start with the best practices and implement directly. The second project, as I mentioned, is the one within the National Program of Education for Science. It was mainly oriented towards natural hazards, mainly wildfires. We used data from Copernicus chiefly, and due to that, we also decided that we have to tailor those lecture notes which have been developed within the proposal into a practical guidelines and also tutorial, which differ from the first one which has been published. And this one is mainly oriented towards the information technologies part of remote sensing, so that it can fit into the curriculum with regards to the IT and programming classes. We don't have like recent feedback to see how much it's uptaken, but we have some downloads information, so several hundred of downloads, and we believe that somebody is using it somewhere in the school system. And last but not least, apart from Copernicus Academy, which I mentioned, is the proposal which was developed within the FP Cup initiative of European Commission. This initiative is already over. I mean, the last work program has finished last year. So officially the program is over, but some actions are still running, and they will be running at least 2 more years until the last actions from 2022 are finishing. One of the main events which have been organized were an event so-called Great Disaster Challenge, which was taking place on the 19th of March this year, and it was deemed to reach out at 11 countries simultaneously across Europe, working with teachers and school students on a topic concerning disaster. The disaster which was given for the brainstorming session was a major flood event which was taking place in Europe. And nationwide, we achieved something like 300 students. In the event itself, about 50 teachers involved, 10 schools, and for the countries, of course, this is our country, but later on I'll give you more overview statistics. So overall, what we have achieved in this 10-year of running initiatives and projects within the Earth observation, we connected with Greek, Germany, universities and institutes. We're part of the Copernicus network. We attracted funding from European Commission and European Space Agency, as well national funding. Our like significant milestone, which we can say so for the time being, is that we participated with 11 nations, European nations, for the Great Disaster Challenge this year. We still maintain the school and the teachers networks, so we want to continue and expand those activities, mainly on a project basis, but also we are open to work pro bono. It depends on who wants to work in this domain. And the summary statistic says that, as you can see, the first two projects which we started with something like seed funding or small grants from European space agencies and the national funding achieved about 150 up to 200, so to say, students. With the joint effort of Copernicus for schools, 11 countries, we reached almost 4,000 students all across Europe. And 300 school teachers. With regard to the methodology that we use for the developing of the lecture notes and the courses, we start with basic knowledge, then we go through applied research, and of course we try this applied research to go to the real world examples. We use a lot of inquiries, and also we ask the students to make projects themselves on different topics of interest, which the projects are focused on. Of course, as any project nowadays, it contains a lot of multimedia. We use real data. And we try to keep it simple in order to get the concepts grasped by the students. So we have one concept per slide, not too much encumbered curriculum. We progressively disclose the information. We have a lot of interactive elements. And we are consistent in branding our national activities in those lecture notes for sure. We also keep on using the high resolution satellite imagery to which the students are anyway acknowledged in their daily lives. And we use live demos, free and open source software such as QGIS, QuantumGIS, and LeoWorks, and Snap. We have also layer technical explanations to provide additional details to the students which are more interested in some of the topics. And finally, last but not least, well, the message that should be or can be taken is that Bulgaria, not only from our own experience, but if we can talk and generalize for the country itself, is actively shaping the future of Earth observation training for schools across EU. We are, of course, eager to expand those opportunities towards new horizons. So people working in this domain internationally are welcome to contact us and to continue. So thank you for your attention. And if you have questions, you can ask.